Joining us is Jody Levitt, who is a director of nonprofit of childcare for low-income students and has been doing it for 8 years.
Okay, are you ready?
All right, let's do this.
Okay. All right. So the very first question is, have you yourself ever taken out student loans before?
I have. It was many years ago, but yes, I took out loans in order to get my bachelor's degree. And yeah, just for my bachelor's and my teaching certification.
Okay. All right. Now I'm going to ask you questions two and three together.
Okay.
Ask them both at the same time. So, two is, what has your experience been like with that, with the student loans?
Mhm.
And are you still paying them off, or how many years do you have left, or how long did they take to get paid off?
Okay. So no, I'm not still paying them off. That was seems like centuries ago, if you ask my children that I was at school. But it took me probably 15 years to pay off those loans. At the time, I was making the minimum payments and just continuing to do so. I do have experience, though. Both my children have had to take out loans for college, and one of them has paid it off. The other one is still paying. Um, so it's a relevant topic for me, even though I personally am not paying off loans.
Okay. All right. So now here's the big question. Big
Yep,
question. And that is, do you believe or do you think that student loans should be canceled?
absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Okay.
Absolutely not. And let me tell you, part of my leaning towards that is because one of my children has paid it off. He worked hard, he made all those payments, and he was proud when he was able to put that done stamp on that loan. The other child is doing the same thing. She's working hard, and what makes it fair that she should get forgiven and he shouldn't? The other thing is, I used to work at a community college, and so I would see people take out those loans almost as a form of wages. They would take those loans out, they'd take one or two classes and just keep pushing those payments down the road. And they were using those loans for more than just paying for college. They were paying their rent, their mortgage, their food, etc. So I'm a little tainted by that because my kids worked all through college in order to pay their bills. So I think if you take out a loan, that's a personal promise that you're going to pay it back.
Okay. All right, good. And you actually answered the next one already within that answer. So great.
Okay.
All right, so let's go ahead and just go on and over to six. So would you agree with you hear a lot of people say that borrowers know what they're signing up for. So, when they go and they agree to the loan and they sign everything, that they know what they're getting into, or do you think that that is kind of a oversight? Because a lot of people believe at 18, nobody knows what they're getting themselves into. So, what are your thoughts on that?
I totally agree that the transparency in the student loan application process is non-existent. An 18-year-old or at any age, you're working with a counselor at the school, and the counselor's job is to get you whatever money you need to be able to come to that school. They want as many people at that school as possible. And so no, I don't think it's well constructed on the education of the borrower. And even on the flip side, once you have finished school and that loan is due to pay back, it's still a quagmire to walk through to try and understand who you're paying and how much you're paying and what the interest rates are and all those things. So Yeah, no, that's definitely a weak area in the student loan process.
Okay, all right, great. And my last question is, why do you think it is so important for student loans to not be canceled?
I think, well, bottom line, people need to be held accountable and responsible for their actions. They need to be able to, if you make a choice, you need to be responsible for that choice, whether it's student loans, whether it's credit card debt, whether it's buying a Mercedes or a Hyundai. You make the choice, you need to be accountable for that choice. And I feel very strongly that now, is there wiggle room to extend loans and maybe help people pay them off? Absolutely. I think there should be some gray area or some negotiating area for those young people who didn't understand exactly what they were getting into. But total cancellation, absolutely not. There are too many people who have worked far too hard and paid off their debts, that we have to take them into account too.